Hello, welcome back to Learn Economia. In this video, we'll be dealing with a new theory, and this theory is very much important as far as development economics is concerned. And here we are going to see and discuss theory of unlimited supplies of labor. This before starting, let me say that this is one of the very important theories in the arena of development economics. So let's get started. This particular theory of unlimited supply of labor is introduced to the arena of development economics by a very famous economist by the name Arthur Lewis, and this person is a Nobel laureate, and it was during the mid 1950s that he has contributed in the form of unlimited supply of labor theory to the arena of development economics. And in his theory, he dealt with the concept known as supply of labor or labor surplus. Surplus of labor or labor surplus. Now, by surplus of labor or labor surplus or surplus labor, he meant that part of manpower which even if withdrawn from the process of production, there will be no fall in the amount of output. So, in order to make it more clear, let's consider the case of agriculture sector. As we could see, in the agriculture sector, there exists disguised unemployment. Even if you withdraw some number of labor from agriculture sector, that does not affect the total output in the agriculture sector. So even if the people who are disguisedly employed in the agriculture sector are withdrawn from the sector, that would not affect the total output in the agriculture sector. So the withdrawn labor is known as a surplus labor. Now, as any other theories in economics, here too we have got some assumptions. So let's deal with the assumptions of the Lewis model. In Lewis model, so it's very important to note that the Lewis model theory of unlimited supply of labor, this is set in the background of a dual economy. So this is very important to understand. Here it's very important to understand what the dual economy is. So I have already discussed the characteristic features of a dual economy in my former videos, in my previous videos, where I have in detail discussed the different theories that deal with dualism or the dualistic character of underdeveloped economy. So if you haven't watched those videos, it would be beneficial to you if you go and watch those videos, because these videos will give you a very clear-cut understanding of the dualistic character of underdeveloped economy. So coming back to this particular video, the Lewis theory, the Lewis model of unlimited supply of labor, it is set in the background of the dual economy or the dualistic economy, or the economy which has got some kind of dualistic characteristics. So let's see what is the nature of dualistic character that is discussed by the Lewis model. So here there are two sectors. First one is the traditional sector, and here we can consider agriculture, which is considered to be one of the traditional sector, and where there is some overpopulated rural subsistence sector existing, or the agriculture sector or traditional sector or subsistence sector or rural sector, etc. These are different names of the traditional sector that we could give to. Now, in this sector, it is very important to know that there exists zero marginal productivity of labor. That means that the additional contribution made by labor to the output would be zero. So, what is the case of the other sector? That exists on the other hand another sector which is not the industrial sector, and this is simultaneously we could see or on modern sector or the urbanized sector, and where as against the case of agriculture sector there exists high productivity. Now another difference is that when subsistence sector does not make use of the reproducible capital with respect to the modern sector, there exists the use of reproducible capital. Now, the production in the advanced sector is higher than production in the traditional backward sector. Here, advanced sector means the modern sector or the industrial sector. So, this is all set in the Lewis model. He says that the production, he believes or he assumes that the production in the advanced sector or the modern sector or the industrial sector is always higher than that of the traditional backward sector. Then as per Lewis, the supply of labor is perfectly elastic. That means that supply of labor is greater than the demand for labor. Now, he says that the propounder of this theory, Arthur Lewis, he says that there exists unlimited supply of labor in the underdeveloped economies. So this is taken for granted and we all know that. And let's see what are the sources of unlimited supply of labor, and Lewis has given some of the explanation to the sources of unlimited supply of labor, and he says that because of severe increase in population there would be more than required number of laborers working in lands, so there exists disguised unemployment in the traditional sector. And in underdeveloped economies, so many people having temporary or part-time jobs like lauders, potters, waiters, etc., taking part-time jobs and all, and or temporary jobs and all. There would be no fall in the production even if some number are halved. So this is another explanation given by him. He also explains that the landlords, feudals, etc., and all, and they have an army of tenants for the sake of their influence, power, prestige, etc. And even if these people are withdrawn from work, that would not affect the total product. That is because these people, they do not make any kind of contribution towards the production, and also they are prepared to work even if there is less than subsistence wage. So that also be considered as another explanation to the source of unlimited supply of labor in underdeveloped countries. Then another important point to note, this is something contradictory because this is just for the sake of theory that we are assuming. I actually personally have some kind of disagreement with this concept, but since it is theoretically assumed to be so, we can't question that, but still we have, if you have arguments, it is very important, you can question, no problem. Here Lewis says that the women in the UDCs do not work, but they just perform the household duties, and this also represents unemployment. We know that even though women are working at home, even though they are carrying out some task at home, though these people are not remunerated, that doesn't mean that the work they do does not require any kind of effort. Until and unless these people are not recognized, we cannot say that these people are working. The efforts of these people should be recognized. So in order to understand that these people are working. So in the Lewis model, Lewis actually believed that so long as these people, women in households, these people are not employed outside their home, or though since so long as these people are not participating in the labor market, their work is not identified. So as a result, these people are considered to be unemployed. This might be the explanation that he has given. Anyway, I don't want to explain more about that because I personally disagree with this. Now, the next point is that there would be high birth rate in underdeveloped economies, and this lead to a higher rate of unemployment. We know that when there is high level of unemployment, there would be when there is high level of birth rate in the economy, there would be a mismatch between labor supply and labor demand. The labor supply would be very high compared to labor demand. As a result, the wage rate, that is the price given to the labor, and this would also be very less since the supply of labor is less than demand for labor. Now, with that, let's see the basic thesis of the Lewis model, and so this is very important to understand the crux of the Lewis model. Lewis model is actually identified to be a classical type of model which states that the unlimited supply of labor can be had with the prevailing subsistence wages, and the industrial and the modern sector, or industrial, the advanced or modern sector, this can be developed on the basis of traditional sector. This is what is told by Lewis, and he says that this can be done by transferring the labor from traditional sector to the modern sector. And Lewis also says that the wages in the industrial sector would remain constant. Consequently, the capitalists will earn surplus. Such surplus, what would they do? The surplus earned by capitalists would be reinvested in the modern sector itself, leading to absorption of labor from the traditional sector. This means that with the reinvestment of capital in the modern sector, there would be some kind of expansion in the modern sector. As a result, in order to increase production in the modern sector, there would be more laborers required. So as a result, there would be absorption of labor from the traditional sector done by the modern sector. Now, in this way, the surplus labor in the agriculture sector who were paid to the disguised unemployment would be absorbed by the modern sector. As a result, these people who were absorbed by the modern sector from the traditional sector will get some employment, and thus both the labor transfer and modern sector employment growth are brought about by the output expansion in the modern sector. And the speed with which this expansion occurs is determined by several factors. And rate of industrial investment and capital accumulation in the modern sector are two of this. And though the wages have been assumed to be constant with respect to the modern sector, it is very important to say that urban wages are at least 30% more than the average rural income, and this is very much required to induce workers to migrate from their home areas. For example, it is believed by Lewis that at least there would be a 30% rise in the modern sector wage compared to the wages of the agriculture sector, and this is very much important to encourage agriculture sector workers who were disguisedly unemployed or disguisedly employed in the agriculture sector to move from agriculture sector to the modern sector, and this will definitely help in the development process. And this is the crux of the theory known as unlimited supply of labor, and this is how he explained how development happens in underdeveloped economies as a result of unlimited supply of labor in the agriculture sector. This is because with the expansion of the modern sector, or with the expansion of the profit in the modern sector, there will be some kind of reinvestment in the modern sector, and as a result of reinvestment there would be expansion in the modern sector. In order to increase output in the modern sector, there would be demand for more laborers, and since there is a higher wages available in the modern sector compared to the wages in the agriculture sector, this will induce workers in the agriculture sector to move from agriculture sector to industrial sector or the modern sector. As a result, there would be expansion and of the modern sector. At the same time, it is very important to see that agriculture sector would not lose anything, because since there was disguised unemployment in the agriculture sector, withdrawal of labor from agriculture sector to industrial sector would not affect agriculture sector at all, so long as we withdraw only the people who are disguisedly unemployed in the agriculture sector. With that, we end this video. I request you to like, share and subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching. Let me tell you one more thing, that in this particular video we have discussed only the crux of the theory of unlimited supplies of labor, but in the upcoming videos we will be prompting deep into this particular theory itself. In the 3-4 videos we will be doing that. Okay, thank you for watching.